I hope you remember what topic we are talking about. We are discussing about implementation technique. Okay, so in the database management system, how you can implement physically. Okay, that means whenever you are going to store or save any database or table or any content, so how physically you can save it in the memory devices, especially in the hard disk. Okay, so here in the file organization, first, we need to understand the connectivity between the database management system and then file. Okay, so generally we used to hear this name file in non-database related concepts and utilization. Okay, so here, in what way the file is related with the database management system, that we need to understand first, right? Maybe here in this computer system, whatever we are saving, that will be in the form of file. Okay, we used to call as a file, right? Suppose if you store any text document or Word document or any Excel file, okay, so anything, audio, video, so any type of file that we save in the computer, we call as a file. Okay, general name is file, right? So here, in what way the file concept is related with the database management system, that we need to understand. Okay, so here in the physical storage devices, especially in the hard disk, we already spoke about this. The file will be saved in the hard disk in the form of blocks. Okay, blocks. When we discuss about the hard disk structure, there we studied about what is the tracks and sectors. Okay, so based on the operating system, the typical block size may vary, right? Then again, when you use the relational database management system, okay, so in the relational database management system, suppose if you install Oracle in your computer, right? So the file management, everything will be done by the Oracle itself, right? So generally, when you format in your computer, right, you are making a file system there. Suppose if you use Windows 9 or Windows 10 or some other operating system, based on the operating system, you are just going to make a particular file system, a type of file system. For example, NTFS. NTFS is the file system, one of the file system we create in the hard disk. Okay, so that is what really happens when you format any disk, right? So based on the operating system, the corresponding operating system will make use of its own file system. Okay, so now whatever the data or whatever the file you are going to save in the particular system with the which has certain operating system, the same type of file system you are going to write. For example, if you are going to save the file in the Windows 9, Windows 10, Windows 7 or Windows 8, then you will be using NTFS file system. Okay, so here the point is whatever the database or whatever the table or whatever the data you are going to save in the hard disk will be saved in the form of files. Okay, so that is what the main thing we need to understand, right? So here, when you use any database management system, the database management system we studied already. So we create a database, and database will be a collection of table. Maybe if you are creating a very simple database, you will be having only one table. Okay, even a simple database for demonstration purpose, you can create a simple table, okay, or a single table. Or otherwise, generally in a practical application, when you are going to create your databases, based on some database model, you will be creating many number of tables. Okay, so database will be generally consist of more than one table or collection of tables. Then again, table we already studied what you mean by table. In the table will be in the form of rows and columns, or otherwise we generally can understand it as a collection of data. Okay, so here when we create any databases, the database or in the table, everything will be saved in the form of file physically in the hard disk. Okay, so how these files are arranged in the hard disk, that is what the topic we are going to discuss now, right? So I hope you will be able to connect the file system or the file organization with the database management system, right? Right. So we'll just go through the some of the important points about file organization. The database is stored as a collection of files. each file is sequence of records. A record is a sequence of fields. So this is a very simple definition. We already studied about this. A database, whatever the database you are going to create, that will be saved in the hard disk or in the physical implementation in the form of files. Okay. Suppose you are going to create a student database. Okay. The student database, if you're having 5 tables, okay, and each table will be having certain amount of data. For example, there will be 500 records in each table. Okay, so obviously you'll be having certain amount of data there, right? So this data, when you're going to save in the hard disk, will be saved in the form of collection of files, right? So in the viewpoint, whatever we see in the database will be viewing as a table or viewing as a database. But in the physical storage, but in the actual hard disk storage, all the database, all the table, all the content of your entire database will be saved in the form of files. Okay, so here the database is stored as a collection of files. Maybe it depends on the size of your database and depends on the size of your block. Okay, we are going to talk about block also. And each file is a sequence of records. It is very obvious. When you have your table, there will be a sequence of records. That will be a collection of records. The same thing we are going to have it in the file also, right? So otherwise, you can simply understand when you create any particular table, each and every table based on the content, those table will be saved as in the form of file. Okay, so a record is a sequence of field, right? So what are the approaches we'll have it in the file organization? First approach is assume record size is fixed. Okay, suppose if you are going to create a table, in the table all the data type and all the size of your data, everything is fixed, then you can have a fixed record. Okay, suppose if you are in the record, when you are going to create a table, if you use varchar, okay, varchar, it is actually variable in size. Okay, based on the data that you are going to store, based on that the particular field size will be adjusted. Okay, if you use varchar. So otherwise, if you use integer and then other date or any other numerical values, so everything will be in the form of fixed size. So the first approach is what we are going to see here is record size is fixed. Okay, so it is for some practical purpose. We can just assume your record size is fixed. There are other options also there. Okay, variable record size, that is also we are going to discuss. And the first point is here, assume record size is fixed, and then each file has records of one particular type only. Okay, so maybe when you create a record, all the records or all the attributes or the field of your record will be having a specific or particular type only. Okay, so you are not going to change the data type there, right? And then different files are used for different relations. Maybe relations here you can understand, like we are referring a table. Okay, so different table or different relations will be using one particular file. Okay, that's what I told you already. So when you create a database, the database will be having a collection of table, and in the collection of table, each table can be considered as one file. Okay, so when you create a table, this particular table will be of with fixed size or variable in size. Suppose if you use variable data type in your table, then that will become the variable record. Okay, so able to understand, right? So this case is easiest to implement. We'll consider variable length records later. That means what? That's what I told you. So the first approach is we assume all your record size is fixed. Okay, so when you are going to have your record size is fixed, then whatever the data type you are going to use in the field will be fixed in size. Okay, you cannot adjust the entire total size of your record, cannot be adjusted. Okay, will be fixed in size. For example, a particular record size is 10 KB. Okay, so if you are allocating a 10 KB size a particular record, and each and every record that you have in the table will be having with the same 10 KB size, right? That here the simple approach, the fixed length record, we can see the example here. That is, we are just going to store the record I starting from the byte, and where n is the size of each record. So maybe you can assume one particular record is of which particular size. And then record access is simple, but records may cross blocks, that is also possible. Suppose if your entire volume of your table or if your data content is exceeding a particular block size, then maybe possible of storing into the next subsequent blocks. Okay, but sometimes what you can do for the access purpose, you can restrict the crossing the block. Okay, so here there are certain manipulations you can do with this fixed length record. The one is deletion of record. Okay, suppose you can see in the diagram here, this is one table, right? So in the table you have totally 11 records are there, and 11 records with 4 attributes. Okay, the first one is one particular attribute is given, and then another one is name, and then department, and then maybe you can consider this as a salary. Okay, now how you can delete a particular record from this a file or from this table. Okay, so there are 3 alternatives you can do with the deletion operation, right? There are 3 alternatives. The first one is, what you're going to do is the first move records I plus 1 to n to I to n minus 1. Okay, that means suppose in this example you can see the third record you are going to delete. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so you are trying to delete a third record. In the first case, what you are doing, what you are going to do here, once you delete the third record and just you are moving the entire remaining records into the subsequent, that is in the advanced location. Okay, so that means in the record 3 place you are replacing with record 4. In the record 4 place you are replacing with record 5. Okay, so likewise you are moving the bottom records into the one level up. Okay, that's what here we are saying here. Move records I plus 1 to n to I to n minus 1. Okay, that is what the this is the one approach. Okay, then what is the next approach? Move record n to I. That means suppose if you delete a particular record, in the deletion place you are just moving the last record instead of moving all the other remaining records. Okay, hope you will be able to understand. For example, here if you have 0 to 1, we are deleting the same third record. So instead of moving 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in one record up, what we are doing here in the second alternative, we are deleting the third record, and in the place of third record, just you are moving the nth record, the last record, into the third record position. Okay, so this is the second approach, right? Then, so what is the third approach here? Do not move the records, but link all free records on a free list. Okay, so this is another alternative method you can perform in the fixed type of records. Okay, right? So here you can see here, like in the free list, there is another concept is also involved in the free list. You'll be having a separate record called header. Okay, so here what you're doing here, when you delete a particular record, and the first deleted record information or the address will be saved in the header. Okay, and suppose if you delete any other subsequent records here. Okay, so in this example, record 1 is deleted, record 4 is deleted, record 6 is deleted. Okay, so here based on this alternative approach, what you are doing here, will just write the first deleted record address into the header of your the file, and then again here the second record, that means the fourth record you have deleted, this address will be stored in record 1 place, and then the record 6 address will be saved in the record 4 place. Okay, so here what you are doing here, in this particular example, we are making a free list. Okay, so this actually, it's a kind of linked list you had studied in the data structure, where you have a link from one node to the another node, right? So similarly, in this alternative approach, in the fixed length record, when you are going to delete a record or set of records, what you can do, first record address will be stored in the header, and then the subsequent deleted record will be stored in the previous one. Okay, that means in this way you can create a free list, right? So here you can think of these stored addresses as pointers, since they point to the location of your record. Okay, so this one is a more space efficient representation, right? So this is what about the third alternative, right? Now I hope you will be able to understand what is a fixed length record and what is the small manipulations with the fixed length record. Okay, the fixed length record, mainly what you have to remember is all the record size will be fixed in size. Okay, so there will not be any variable length allowed here, right? Suppose if you assign integer, if it is a string, and then if it is a string, and then if it is an integer, right? So suppose if you allocate a string of size 15, and here also a string of size 15, and this 15 size will be fixed as it is. Okay, suppose if you use less than 15 size, the remaining space will not be utilized. Okay, so that will be fixed forever, right? So then the next one we are going to discuss about variable length record. Okay, the small difference is the fixed length and then variable length. Here you can have a record with variable in length. Okay, that means the size will be adjusted. Okay, the size of a particular record will be adjusted, right? So here the other advantage is what you can do, you can store multiple record types. Okay, in the file system, in the variable length record files, you can store multiple record types with variable in length, right? So that's what we are going to discuss now. Here, variable length records arise in database system in several ways, and storage of multiple records types in a file. That means you can store multiple record types. Okay, so the record types with variable length. For example, set of records will be about 10 KB, or other set of records will be about 15 KB size, or other set of records will be about 20 KB size, something like that. So the mixing of different type of records you can have in a single file, right? So here the record types that allow variable length for one or more fields such as string. So especially when you use varchar, you are studied about varchar, right, already. So there is varchar. When you use varchar, suppose if you assign varchar of 25, okay, suppose in the particular data, if you give about 15 characters only, okay, so the remaining 10 will be adjusted. Okay, the second data, suppose if you use 20 instead of 25, then remaining 5, that is 5 length, 5 characters will be adjusted. Okay, so thereby you can have the variable length, right? See, based on the given input data for a particular record, the length will be adjusted. Okay, that's why we call this a variable length records. Okay, then so records type that allow repeating fields. Maybe you can this is actually practically nowadays we are not using it. In olden days, you can have a repeated field or repeated column in a table. Okay, so now it is not in the practice. Even suppose if you are using very old databases, you can avail this variable length records. Okay, so here the attributes are stored in order and null values represented by null value bitmap. Okay, now we'll see here bytes. It's starting from the byte 0. You can just imagine this one particular is a it is one record. Okay, the entire thing is a one record. The total size will be about 45 bytes, right? Here it's starting from 0, and there are first 5 bytes is assigned, first 4 bytes are assigned for one particular value, one particular field, and the next 4 bytes are assigned for another value, another field, and the next 4 another value. Okay, then here there are about 8 bytes are assigned for storing some other value, right? So here the first one you can see here 21,5, that is 21 plus 5 will be having 26. Okay, then 26 plus 10 you'll be getting 36. Okay, then 36 plus 10 you'll be having from 46 it will be starting. Okay, then here this actually a special one. Null value is represented by null value bitmap. Here null value, you know already what is null value. To represent a null value in your record, what you can do, you can use a bitmap. So this null value, entire null value can be stored in only 1 byte. Okay, it will just occupy only 1 byte. That means 20 and 21. So this only 1 byte is used for storing your null values. Okay, so remaining things are just this one is your record first value, and then your name, and then other department. Okay, so here in this variable length record, so based on the data or based on the length you are storing in the record, the length will be adjusted. Okay. And so here the another approach in the variable length record, you can use the slotted page structure. Okay. Slotted page structure is the another approach for variable length record, right? So here, you know, what is slotted? Okay. Slot or slotted page. So here the slot will be a kind of range. Okay. So from this point to this point, right? So you can have that type of, you know, the range type of detail in the variable length records. And maybe here we are talking about pages. Okay. So I hope you studied about pages in operating system. Okay. So pages generally in the operating system way, you can understand, like when you are going to have the main process will be split into different type of, you know, small portions. Okay. So that particular portion you can call it as a pages. Okay. Swapping, paging. So those type of concept you have studied. So the same idea here also we use in the slotted page. The slotted page, the entire file can be split into different pages, or even sometimes you can have it as in the form of records. Okay. So now here in the slotted page structure, how it is organizing your variable length records. Okay. So here the slotted page header contains number of records, that is number of entries. Okay. Then end of free space in the block. So how much free space are available in the particular record, okay, or in the block, and then location and size of each record. So in a particular file, in which location the record is located, okay, in which memory location the particular record is located. So those type of information will be stored in the slotted page structure. Okay, right? So records can be moved around within the page to keep them contiguous with no empty space between them. That means the free space can be adjusted. Okay, suppose you have deleted one particular record and there is a free space. Okay, then subsequently for after, you know, a certain number of records, suppose if you are deleting you know, still more set of records, then there will be a free space. Okay, so for accessibility, what this variable in the record is doing, so all the free spaces are accumulated in one particular region in the file. Okay, so all the records that are in the use will be accumulated, will be merged in one particular place. Okay, this is what we call as a free space management. Okay, whatever the free spaces are available after deleting a particular record, those free spaces will be accumulated and will be combined with the already existing free spaces. Okay, so this also will be done in the variable in records. Okay, so here the pointers should not point directly to the record. Instead, they should point to the entry for each record in header. So each record header will be pointed to the, that is, instead of pointing to the exact data or exact record, it will be pointing to the starting point or the header of your records. Okay. And so other how you can organize your records in the file. Okay, so what are the different ways you can organize your records in the file, right? The first one is the heap. Okay, so heap means what? So wherever there is a free space or wherever there is a space, you are going to store your record. Okay, so here a record can be placed anywhere in the file where there is a space. Suppose if the file, suppose you have a file, in the file if you find any free space, then you are going to save your record there. Okay, so this is one type of approach. This is one way of organizing your records in the file. Okay, so in the file, if you find any free space, just you are going to store there, right? Then the other way of organizing your record, you can organize in the sequential manner, right? That means store records in sequential order based on the values of the search key of each record, right? So you can store the records in the sequential order. Sequential in the sense mostly it will be in the sorting form. Okay, so here it will be mostly in the generally whenever you are saving any data will be in the form of either in the ascending or descending. So mostly it will be in the form of ascending order. Okay, that is, let's start from 0, 1, 2, 3, something like that. Okay, so you can arrange your records in the file in the sequential manner. And then one more thing is we have hashing. Using this concept idea also, you can store your data in the, or you can store your records in the file. Okay, the hashing we are going to discuss in detail in the another topic, hashing. But here what you need to understand is the hashing will be using a hash function. Okay, this hash function will be generating a kind of key, right? So here, you know what will be hashing. This hash function is mainly used to convert any arbitrary values into a constant value. Okay, if your any particular attribute value of your table or your database is in random wise or not fixed, then suppose if you want to have a constant value, then you can make use a hash function. Okay, I hope you will understand, right? The hash function will convert your any arbitrary value or any random value into a constant value. Those values can be considered for the organizing your records, right? So here hash function computed on some attribute of each record. Maybe when you take in a particular record from your table, any one of the attribute of your table can be taken for performing the hash function. The results specify in which block of the file the record should be placed. Based on the hash value generated, then you can decide in which particular block the particular record can be saved. Okay, so that is one of the other way you can organize your record in the files. Then records of each relation may be stored in a separate file. In a multi-table clustering file organization, records of several different relations can be stored in the same file. So that's what we already said. In the variable length record file especially, you'll be saving different type of records or different type of table in a one single file. Okay, so here the records of each relation may be stored in a separate file. That means what? When you have a table, in the table you'll be having records, and then the records of your relation can be saved in separate file. For example, record 1 can be saved in file 1, record 2 can be saved in file 2, okay, and record 3 can be saved in file 10, record 4 can be saved in file 20, something like that. Okay, so that flexibility we have in the this type of multi-table clustering file organization. Okay, so based on certain condition, based on certain value, you are going to grouping. Okay, so based on the grouping, you will be saving your records, right, in the multiple files. So records of several different relations can be stored in the same file, right? So here the advantage of using this multi-table clustering file organization, when you have a related record in a single location or the single block of your disk, the IO operations can be performed much better. Okay, because whatever the data you are going to access, all those data will be available in a single cluster or a single block. Okay, instead of saving the data in multiple block, if you have the very closely related data in a single block of your disk, and you can perform the IO operations effectively, right? So here one more point is in the multi-table clustering. Multi-table clustering, you know what it mean by clustering, right? It is a grouping, right? Clustering is grouping. Okay, so here whatever the related data or the related records are there, those records will be grouped in a single file. Okay, that is what the concept here, right? And here you can see it is suitable for sequential file organization. So the first file organization method, this is a very simple method. Here in the sequential file organization, all the records will be saved in the sequential form, okay, next to next, and there will be a pointer from one record to the another record. Okay, it is something like it is working as your linked list, right? So all the records in the files are arranged in the sequential manner, right? So it's suitable for applications that require sequential processing of the entire file. Okay, then maybe you can use any one of the search key to search this particular record. And how you can perform the deletion operation in the sequential file organization. Okay, so here deletion user pointer change. For example, if you want to delete a particular record, so this actually, if you know the linked list, this will be very easy to understand. Okay, the same idea, whatever you studied in the linked list, the same idea we are going to implement here, right? So this is how why you are studying data structure and all. So there in the data structure, you will study about linked list, double linked list, and then various sorting methods, searching. So a lot of algorithms you are studying, right? So how it is doing. The same thing, we are applying in the practically in the database management system, right? So this is the applicability, right? So here, if you understand the linked list, you can easily understand this concept. That is deletion, user pointer chain. Suppose if you want to delete a particular record and just remove that particular record, and again, you can adjust the pointer to the next record. That is how you are doing in the linked list. Okay, it is very exactly same as your linked list deletion, right? Then insertion, how you can do the insertion here. So there are multiple processes are involved. So location, locate the position where the record is to be inserted, and where you want to insert a new record. First you have to identify, and then if no free space, insert the record in a overflow block. So if there any free spaces are not there, then you can add it separately. Okay, that we call as an overflow block. And in either case, pointer chain must be updated, right? So in this example, so suppose if you want to add this particular record, insert a particular record into this position, right? So here, since there is no free space, what you're doing here, so you're just making a link alone. This particular record has been saved in the overflow block, and then only the link is been provided, right? So here in the sequential, so the third record is pointing to the fourth record, and this fourth record is pointing to the new inserted record. Then again from this you are pointing to the next record. Okay, so in this way you can perform the insertion operation, right? So need to organize the file from the time to time, restore the sequential order. Suppose if you find any free space in between, then you have to rearrange, right? Because in the sequential file organization, your record content should be in the sequential order all the time. Okay, so whenever it is possible, the sequential file, whatever the record you have, this record should be arranged in the sequential manner. Okay, then, so in the multi-table clustering file organization, this what in the multi-table clustering, maybe you can combine two different type of relation or the records in one particular file. Okay, so here you can see department name, building, and budget. Okay, there are 3 attributes are there, and then here there are 4 attributes are there. Okay, so department file is with different name, and then instructor file is also with different name. Okay, so now here if you say if you are going to combine these 2 file, okay, this is what the variable length or multiple clustering file. Okay, this is what your multi clustering file. So here you are combining more table or different content in this particular one table. Okay, so you can see here computer science Taylor, and then 1 lakh. Okay, and then computer science Taylor 1 lakh, and then the remaining related content. That's what we are calling it as a clustering. Okay, that means what you are grouping, right? So here computer science, whatever the data comes under computer science, you are combining all the data in a single group, right? And then here you can see 2 categories. One is computer science and another one is physics. Okay, in the computer science, you are combining this type of whatever the data that are related with the computer science, you are grouping in one single group, and whatever the data comes under the physics, you are grouping into another group. Okay, so this is how you are making a multi-table clustering of different table, right? So this particular set of table you can save it in the single file, right? Hi learners, please subscribe to my channel and also press bell icon for latest video updates. Please do not forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you.